Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, "By and the Moments I Wish I Could Keep in Quote." Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. Every morning begins the same way, but it never feels ordinary. Before my alarm rings, before the sun fully stretches across the curtains, I feel a soft weight against my legs. It is Bai. Bai does not bark to wake me up. He does not scratch at the door. He simply waits. His small, warm body curls beside me, and when he senses that my breathing has changed, he lifts his head and places one paw gently on my arm. It is his quiet way of saying, "Are you awake?" Because I am. I open my eyes, and there he is, his fur slightly messy from sleep, his ears uneven, one folded back in a way that makes him look permanently surprised. His tail begins to wag slowly, thump, thump, thump against the blanket. That sound is better than any alarm clock in the world. "Good morning, Bai," I whisper. He responds with a tiny lick on my fingers, as if he has been waiting all night just to do that. There is something magical about mornings with a dog. The air feels cleaner. The light seems softer. Even my thoughts are gentler. Bai stretches dramatically, front legs forward, back arched, tail high in the air. Then he hops off the bed and looks back at me, eyes shining with expectation. The day cannot begin until we begin it together. We walk outside while the world is still quiet. The street has not yet filled with motorbikes and conversations. The sky is pale blue, almost shy. Bai walks slightly ahead of me, but always glances back to check if I am still there. That small gesture, him turning his head, making sure I follow, always touches me more than I expect. Sometimes he stops to sniff a patch of grass as if it holds secrets from another universe. Sometimes he stares at a butterfly as though it is the most important event of the day. And in those moments, I realize how fast I usually move through life. Bai does not rush. He notices everything. He lives inside each second completely. When we return home, he waits patiently while I prepare his breakfast. He sits, tail sweeping the floor like a small broom, eyes fixed on me with total trust. To him, I am not someone who forgets things or makes mistakes or worries about tomorrow. I am simply his person, and that is one of the moments I wish I could keep forever. The way he looks at me as if I am enough. After breakfast, he follows me around the house. If I sit at my desk, he lies at my feet. If I move to the kitchen, he stands and comes too. Not because he is afraid of being alone, but because being near me is his favorite place. There is comfort in that kind of loyalty. It reminds me that love does not need to be loud. Sometimes it is just a quiet presence in the room. In the middle of ordinary mornings, Bai turns simple routines into something sacred. And I often find myself thinking, I wish I could keep this moment exactly as it is. Afternoons with Bai are slower. The sunlight spills across the living room floor, forming warm golden rectangles. Bai always chooses the brightest one and settles down in it like a small king claiming his throne. He sighs deeply, as if the warmth has solved all his problems. I sit nearby with my laptop or a book, pretending to be productive. But every few minutes, I glance at him. His chest rises and falls steadily. One ear twitches when he hears distant sounds. Occasionally, his paws move as if he is running in his dreams. I wonder what he dreams about. Chasing leaves? Running in open fields? Or perhaps simply walking beside me. Sometimes I lie down next to him. He opens one eye, checks that it is me, and then relaxes again. I place my hand on his back and feel the softness of his fur, the steady rhythm of his breathing. It is such a small act, touching a dog. Yet it brings an unexpected peace. On difficult days, when my mind feels crowded with worries, I senses it before I say anything. He climbs onto the sofa, rests his head on my lap, and looks at me with those quiet, knowing eyes. He does not try to fix my problems. He does not ask questions. He simply stays. And somehow that is enough. There was one afternoon when the rain came suddenly, heavy and loud against the windows. I was feeling overwhelmed with work and responsibilities. Everything felt urgent, demanding, unfinished. I startled at the first thunderclap, then quickly jumped onto the sofa beside me. His body pressed against mine, trembling slightly. I wrapped my arms around him and whispered, "It's okay." But as I held him, I realized something. Maybe I needed those words too. It's okay. We sat there together, listening to the rain. My heartbeat slowly matched his. The world outside was noisy and chaotic, but inside our small living room, there was calm. Moments like that cannot be planned. They cannot be bought. They are fragile and fleeting. Sometimes in the late afternoon, we play. I throw his favorite toy, and he runs after it with dramatic enthusiasm, sliding across the floor, sometimes missing it entirely. He looks embarrassed for a second. If dogs can feel embarrassed, then quickly tries again. His joy is pure. No self-doubt. No fear of looking silly. Watching him, I remember how serious I often become as an adult. How careful. How controlled. But does not care if he looks foolish. He cares about the game. He cares about the fun. And that is another moment I wish I could keep. The sight of him running toward me with his toy in his mouth, eyes sparkling, as if I am the most exciting person in the world. Afternoons with Bai teach me that happiness is rarely loud. It is often quiet sunlight, soft breathing, shared silence, and simple play. And every time I notice it, I silently promise myself, remember this. Evenings feel different. The sky darkens slowly, and the house becomes quieter. Bai grows calmer too. After dinner, he curls beside my feet while I sit and think about the day. Sometimes I watch him and feel a strange ache in my chest. Dogs do not live as long as humans. That truth is simple, but heavy. There are nights when Bai rests his head on my knee and looks up at me with complete trust. In those moments, I suddenly become aware of time. How it moves whether we are ready or not. How fur that is soft today may one day turn gray. How energetic jumps may someday become slower steps. And that is why I call them the moments I wish I could keep. The way he waits by the door when I leave, tail wagging even though he cannot come with me. The way he greets me as if I have been gone for years, even if it was only 30 minutes. The way he forgives instantly when I accidentally step on his paw. The way he loves without conditions. Living with Bai has changed how I see the world. He reminds me daily that relationships are not built from grand gestures, but from repeated small acts of care. In today's world, we often rush. We check our phones while walking. We think about tomorrow while living in today. We speak, but do not truly listen. Bai does none of these things. He is fully present. And because he is present, I try to be present too. If this story carries any lesson into real life, it is this. We do not need extraordinary events to feel grateful. We need attention. We need awareness. We need to pause long enough to recognize the warmth beside us. Bai has taught me to slow down and notice the small details, a patch of sunlight, a quiet breath, a wagging tail. Show love consistently, not just when it is convenient. Offer presence instead of solutions when someone is struggling. Forgive quickly and hold grudges lightly. Protect and respect animals as living beings with emotions, needs, and trust. The bond between humans and animals is not one of ownership. It is one of responsibility and mutual comfort. When we choose to care for an animal, we choose to honor their trust. We choose to make their short lives safe, joyful, and meaningful. And in return, they teach us how to be kinder humans. As I write this, Bai is asleep beside me. His body rises and falls steadily, unaware that he has changed my life in quiet, profound ways. I know I cannot keep time from moving. I cannot freeze the mornings, the afternoons, or the evenings. But I can be here. I can sit beside him instead of scrolling on my phone. I can speak gently. I can choose patience. And maybe that is what it truly means to keep a moment, not to stop it from passing, but to live it fully while it is here. I may never understand the words I write about him, but he understands love. And because of him, I am learning to understand it better too. If we allow ourselves to love animals the way they love us, openly, faithfully, without calculation, we create a world that is softer, more compassionate, and deeply alive. That is the greatest value Bai has given me. Not just memories I wish I could keep, but a better way to live.